I'm switching on the audio, both my audio and your audio. Can you give me a 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3.
I think it should be fine.
Yeah.
Now let's see if people from home can actually hear us. If you do hear us, leave us a comment. Give them a couple of seconds and let's see what they say. They should be able to hear us. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hi.
Let's
IT
see if they
Bout,
can hear.
can you hear us? I guess you can, right? Everything okay? The audio is fine. It's more
Mm,
important the
I
Sabrina's
can hear
audio, not
you.
mine. Yeah, you can.
I
Okay,
can.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah.
get cracking. Sabrina, good evening. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. In the UK, super cold winter, very harsh winter this year with the lockdown and everything.
Is this
Uh,
the first time that you live abroad in the UK?
no, in the UK, yes, but I used to live in Scotland, so I am a bit used to this kind of northern weather. And I used to live in Germany, so and in France. It's not the first time that I live out abroad. Actually, I left Italy, Milan, when I was 21 after university.
How old are you right now?
No, I cannot say. I'm 28. I'm 28.
It's like I think that I've already asked you this question because I was very surprised the first time that we had you as a judge to discover how young you were and how much experience you already had in the field of digital design. For those who don't know you, let me just overlay your art station so that people can see your projects, and maybe just introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and what can people expect from this chat.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I am a 3D character artist and I work for the video game and movie industry. I work both as freelance and as employee in a video game company here in UK. And I have been starting with this profession in 2017. Before, actually, I didn't know anything of 3D. Now I use several software, and before 2017, I mean, I didn't even hear about them. And when I used to see like Pixar movies or these cartoons, 3D animation, I was wondering like how how is possible to create something like that so awesome. And for me it was super rocket science, and I thought I will never be able to do something like that. How do you do so? uh and so it happened that actually I learned mostly by myself, but I also had a mentor, I can say. Yeah, a mentor. And yeah, in from 2017 I actually started with this profession. But before, I studied actually interior design in Milan. And so still something related with design art. I got to understand a bit proportion, color theory, and design choices. Yeah, but as you can imagine, university in Italy is so much based on theoretical stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't practice a lot. For example, also there at university, I mean, I remember we had to do a lot of presentation, like layout stuff, showing your work, which is so important, especially for like graphic designer, artists. Like everything is about how you present your work. And I saw many work that maybe were not like super brilliant, but if they are well presented with a lot of documentation and breakdown image and solid showcase, they can achieve actually much more visibility and
Hmm.
appreciation, I think. And yeah, at university we didn't learn that. I mean, we studied a lot of famous old designers, and we didn't even know how to use Photoshop or InDesign, or of course you learn by yourself everything, but for in my experience, when I was 19, 20 years old, I was like uh like many Italians, maybe I wanted things to be more uh how can I
Hands on.
say,
Hands
uh
on?
y- um, yes, but I meant like maybe I wanted a bit more help, like
Ah, okay, okay.
like
Support.
you
You
don't
wanted to be
yeah,
supported a little bit more.
yeah, like you don't tell me how to do this, then I will make it too much effort to understand how to do it, so I'm not gonna do it. But this is something that then I learned after 5, 6 years. Okay, if you want to do something, there is no, you have to do it by yourself. But for 5 years I lost 5 years of my life, like, no, I don't know how to, nobody teach me. Okay, no. But with everything, like also small stuff on the computer, like going to look for a solution or resolving problems, I was that kind of person, like, oh no, I cannot do it because nobody tells me how to do it. But
What convinced you to make the switch from interior design to character design? Because like the Italian industry up to 5 6 years ago, we can make a bold statement and say that it almost didn't exist, right? All the talent that was in Italy was abroad, right?
yeah, I think so. And still at this time, I mean, from what I see, there is not so much opportunities for young artists, 3D artists, character artists. Still, when I say my profession in Italy, not just in Abruzzo, my small hometown, but even in bigger cities like Milan, uh, I mean, it's really not something that is common, and it's very hard to find job, or very shitty job. Sorry for the term. Can I say?
It's okay. It's PG-13 and more.
Oh, okay, okay. But so the switch, well, actually, as soon as I graduated, the bachelor degree, 3 years of this interior design in Politecnico of Milan, I straight away left Italy and I wanted to have an experience abroad. And I knew Berlin as a city because I had a few friends there. So I said, okay, I will just go like 6 days after my degree without no work, no nothing. I just took it and went there. And I started to send application for job internship mostly. And after 1 month, I prepared a super sad CV, probably super mm, basic, not even like maybe I invented something like, yeah, I'm super good in doing this and that, but actually I wasn't good in doing anything. Um, and after 1 month, I got this first internship in an architecture and landscape design studio. Uh, it was a super small studio. We were in person, 5 people, and so it was my first experience working with other people professionally in a studio. And we worked on several projects, and since we were so little, there was a lot of work to do. We were only 5 people, so I mean, there was a lot of task to accomplish during the day. It was quite stressful. Me, I wasn't used coming from Italian university without putting hands on anything. I saw myself like, oh my God, I'm so tired at the end of the day. I have to do so many tasks. Okay. So that was my first experience working in a studio. I think I stayed there for around 6 or 8 months,
Ah, okay.
not so long. And after that, I actually, thanks to some connection that I had in the studio and in Berlin in general, I started to work a bit freelance, but as a freelancer illustrator. So
Mhm.
I didn't know anything of 3D yet. I think I was back there, I was 23, 24. And during this internship, actually, my boss saw that I really enjoyed, and I had a bit of not talent, but I was good in making 2D line art illustration. So he used me to make architectural illustration, 2D sketches, black and white, sometimes just with a splash. Okay, there is the sky. You want some blue in the sky just to see. Okay, just not even colored. And so after that, actually, I kept developing. After I finished the internship, I kept drawing a lot, and I had a period, I think, of 1 year and a half in which I was drawing like every day. I was making even 20 drawing like this on paper, or also on walls. I was drawing a lot, but I didn't have a background in drawing. I was mostly doodling, nothing anatomically correct. I was just sport for my end, kind of. But um, I became good eventually after 1 or 2 years, and I got some attention from people because I also started an Instagram page displaying all my 2D works. And I don't know. I didn't really promote myself so much on that, but after 2 or 3 months that I started this page, I got a boost of followers. I think, yeah, because some guy, very famous, like with 100,000 followers, started reshared my work, and in one day I got like 4,000 followers, and I was like, what? After 2 months, now
Is
I'm
it
not.
your current page?
No, no.
Oh, it's another one. Okay.
No, it's another one. Yeah, but it was really not planned, and I was like, wow. And this was back in 2016, I think, or 2015. Okay, and I
Wow,
was
quite a long
not.
time ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was not at all into. I mean, Instagram. I use just for fun, but uh, yeah. So why I'm talking already so much? Why I was saying that?
It's lovely. Let me just say I'm very happy that you went in that direction because the people that usually watch my videos, they come from the architectural and illustration background. And so it is interesting to hear the story of somebody that managed to make a switch, and maybe finding out a little bit how you did it could be of help to some people that are, maybe getting bored with architectural visualization. They're thinking, if I
Yeah,
wanted to make the switch to, say, character design. Or another thing that I really love about your work is the fact that you seem great at making things like organic texture and um, organic like garments, things like that you do in Marvelous design, all that kind of stuff. So, like, if you want to move in that direction, how did you do it yourself so that maybe people can get a little bit of
mm, okay. So
inspiration?
mm, so the reason actually why I wanted to switch, because it was quite a harsh switch from illustration 2D and 3D, was because especially in architecture I found my creativity was going just dead.
Flat. Yeah.
Yeah, flat. Yeah, it was quite
Were your parents unhappy of you making the switch? Italian
uh,
theater. What are you doing?
no, yeah, no, no, I have to admit, only my mother was my, and she still is my best support. She
Okay,
believes in me. She believed in me since the beginning. So
that's good.
actually, thanks to her support, she supported me a lot, and she still support me. She helped me to believe in everything. Like, I want to achieve something, I can achieve it because I have a support of someone. But the rest of my family, they really never. Now that I mean, I'm living uh, abroad, I have a job and more recognition,
Yeah,
the
recognition.
recognition. Yeah, now they are a bit more chill, and they sort of smile even if they will not. But uh, yeah, um, basically, I decided by myself. I just saw myself too unhappy in that field of architecture, and I knew that there was something else. I didn't know exactly. I was 24 already, huh? But I uh, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew that I was super fascinated by these uh, 3D animated movies, cartoons, we call in Italians. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I still remember one of my favorite one was back in the day was Moana, Vaiana.
No.
Mm, uh,
There is a 10 years gap between you and I. So, like I used
no,
to
no,
watch.
but it's recent. Is oh no,
Is
you
it a
saw it for
Disney? It is
yeah,
a.
Disney.
Ah, okay. I think I know which one you mean.
That yeah, the one with the small girl on
Yes,
the
yes, okay.
playa.
Then I understand. I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, okay. But then
But
from that one,
can I ask you a personal question? Because, like, making the switch, have you ever felt like the pressure of saying, what if I'm going to fail? Like, I'm making the switch, and now what? Like, was it always clear in your mind, I'm gonna make it now? I figured out that I wanna do this and I'm gonna pursue it and I'm gonna pull through? Or were you thinking, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing something stupid? Is it me just, being spoiled or whatever?
absolutely.
I'm
So
not
when I
assuming
started,
anything.
no,
I'm
no,
just saying,
no, this is a good point that you ask. This is a good point because not a lot of people know actually. Now they see, oh, she's doing okay, she's doing great, or okay, or whatever. But actually, from when I started, so 2017, for 2 years, 1 year and a half, 2 years, I was completely miserable, like the most miserable that you could imagine, because I mean, I was learning something, and I was learning every day by myself. It was hard. Um, I felt extremely alone and frustrated because I was in my room. Okay, I was with a partner by then, but I was also super like annoying, maybe because I felt so much pressure, as you were saying, so much pressure that I wasn't feeling very good with myself. And many people
Mhm.
say, yeah, but this experience, you should appreciate also the journey, right? Also, my partner will say, yeah, but you're doing something that you like, so you should appreciate the journey, right? And me, I tried, I tried, but it was hard to not have money, because by back then I was not earning money for 1 year and a half. Of course, I skipped the university. No, these academies or university
Mhm.
where you learn computer science, animation, programming and stuff. They cost a lot of money, and
Yeah.
in Italy there were none, and as soon as you go abroad they cost a lot of money. So when you learn without the support of a school, you feel first way more alone, and second, you don't know. I mean, when are you gonna finish? Like, are you gonna have a certification and then you say, oh, now I'm ready? No, you don't know when you are ready because you don't even know how long is the program. uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll, I have learned in my life that the idea of you having to enjoy the journey, it's something that unfortunately you only understand once the journey is over. And I can tell you, I studied architecture, and when I was doing architecture, I had in mind always the goal is to get the degree. And then looking back, I'm like, I'm such an idiot for missing out on all the experimenting that I could have done, right?
Hmm.
And now you look forward and you're like, I should have enjoyed the journey. And so I guess it's normal to feel that way because you find yourself sort of like lost, right? So, how are you supposed to enjoy the journey if you're lost? I guess that you can have it a little bit easier if you understand that no matter what, you're not going back. And so, like, let's just make mistakes and so on. Um, Sorry for interrupting you and telling you this, but like lately I've been spending quite a bit of time watching interviews of like musical artists, and you're a
Okay.
musician, and we're gonna talk about this as well. But one of the things that struck me of people that made it big, like Post Malone or Billie Eilish, is
Hmm.
the mental clarity that there was never a plan B, right? They just went for it.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah, yeah.
understand? And I'm
Yes.
wondering, like, was it ever like this for you? Like, did you have that thing to say, that's it, character design? Bye, everybody. I'm going that way.
Hmm. So when I, mm, because when I started with 3D, I didn't start with making just characters. And if you want to be a character artist, you do only that. I mean, you are not caring too much about environment, about props, about vehicles, about no, characters and stuff related to characters or armors, clothing, grooming, airs, okay, but not other stuff. At the beginning, when I started, uh, I didn't have this certainty. I knew that I wanted to do something related with 3D.
Mm,
But I didn't know if environment, I didn't even know the different, like, when you make a movie, I mean, you can work on everything. No, there it's very, I mean, there are generalists, but usually generalists never make characters, really. Especially characters is just for people that are
yeah,
specialized.
yeah,
and and then also on one character there are a lot of specialization. I mean, there is the facial modeler,
yeah,
so just for the face, and then the anatomy of the body, which is another specialization, and then another specialization only on the grooming, only on the hair. Who does the hair doesn't do, I don't know, the shaders for the skin or other stuff. um, so at the beginning, I didn't, I knew that I would not have done another kind of job if not something related with 3D and something super artistic in general. But
do you feel
after,
like you can express your own um, can you express yourself with your job? Like, do you feel like this gives you the chance to really express yourself?
absolutely, absolutely, yes. And why is because this is a bit scary sometimes to think it like that, but when I produce an image, especially the image of someone, because I love realistic
Portraits,
characters,
yeah.
portraits, yes, double, digital double.
Let me
Uh,
put it up so that people can see it. So like the one of the latest work that you've done, the Viking.
mm,
This is stunning. Oh man,
Thanks.
look at that. I wanna hug that guy and I want him to tell me a story in front of a fireplace.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. But uh, what I was saying is something a bit weird and scary for me, not for the other person who doesn't know, is that when I create an image, it's like I have 200% the control that that person, okay, it's not real, but that figure uh, wants to be and wants to transmit. So he's someone that should live by himself, but I made it. I mean, people, especially women, no, women and men, of course, like we create, we can procreate, so make
Make
children.
each other.
No,
We can
make
duplicate. Yeah,
duplicate,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. And somehow for me, like having the control,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah, yeah.
which is not great. I mean, many people told me, yeah, you are too much a controlling person, no? Yeah. Everyone has their weirdness somehow, but what uh, what I really appreciate of this job is that I have the full control on what I want to transmit, and also in terms of emotion, because it's not only like, of course, there is a lot of technique. When I talk to my friends or family about the job that I do, I explain, okay, at first, like this kind of work require 60% of technique and 40% of artistic side. I mean, of course, you need to be to have very good eyes to understand shapes, colors, proportion, and stuff. But it's very technical. It's very technical, and sometimes the technical part even go more than
Hmm.
it's even more than the artistic part. But once the technical part is learned, like you assume you learn, is like you go with the bicycle, you
Yeah,
learn, then you can start digging and becoming a better artist by exploring more. For example, for me, since 1 year, I started to study through masterclass and by myself. Then, of course, I started to study anatomy,
mm,
like digital sculpting for anatomy, human anatomy, and that's amazing. I mean, this is mm, I started to appreciate actually that this job is about uh, becoming a better artist, not just by learning the software.
yeah.
Okay,
Do you
but
wish you started learning anatomy before than you did with the software and everything else?
mm, I think it doesn't matter really because anyway, at some point you had to learn also the software. I mean, I see many people actually uh, opposite than me. They started with learning anatomy and other artistic theory before, and in my case is not like that. But I mean, I don't see it as a problem. I mean,
Okay.
you can learn, and actually, when you each kind of study, each kind of craft that you learn, whenever you learn it, it helps you to learn another craft that you are learning after.
Yes.
For example, I don't know, I study music, and then, okay, I finished to study music. I mean, I'm not studying it anymore, but it left in my way of being it, and in my brain, a method of
Method,
study,
yeah.
a method of study, and a way to not get scared too much on things, because hey, you know that if you put time and effort to study that thing, mm, you will learn, and the next day you will be better. So from every craft, I think that you learn, uh, you learn something.
I think it's called learning by association of vibration or something. It's basically, like if you learn how to make your taxes, you know a little bit more about investing. If you learn how to do
Yeah.
investing, you learn, and
Hmm.
it's like that's how you proceed. And I think that in art, that I think this is the beautiful thing about art, right? That everything is connected in a way, because one of the goals of art, when it really works and it really communicates something, is that it's recognizable across different uh, social status, races, cultures, whatever, right? It's
Yeah.
international.
Yeah.
And I remember reading this, this was one of the things that I was thinking about when studying architecture. And then I remember being at the MoMA in New York and reading on a painting, the purpose of art is to show that we're all the same. And I was like, that's it, you know?
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, because the art in general is the sum of everything we live in the daily life, if you think about that. Also, when, I don't know, we do uh meditation, or we read a book, or we do sport, we go for a walk outside, everything in the end is uh, uh, what we gain from our daily action we can put into art. So
Yeah.
art is kind of, yeah, the sum of everything that we do in our life.
That is a great segue because I want to ask you a question that is totally not relevant to the discussion that we're having, but
Yeah.
I follow you on Instagram and I know that you're a relatively sporty person. What do you do to keep yourself in such a good shape? What is your diet? I want to know this kind of stuff because like
What? No, you
I
should
have
not ask
talked
me.
I have
Oh,
talked to quite a few artists, and this lockdown has given us in like a couple of kilos, in my case even a little bit more. But what do you do to keep yourself fit?
this I'm I have no words. Like, I mean, you are telling to me this. I
I'm
really
holding my
appreciate.
breath.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate. And if you ask, how do you say, if you ask to me suggestion about this, we are not we are not really on a good boat. No, I mean, I guess I'm not the really the best person to ask advice about food, or what to, because I really don't like cooking. I have no passion in cooking, even though I'm Italian. I love to eat. I love to eat everything, but I had to learn this year, because of the lockdown, to not eat junk food, or too much calories per day, because especially with this job, I mean, I'm sitting all
Yeah.
day long, um, and the age, and everything.
The
You
age.
can.
Yes, old
I
woman
know, I know,
coming
I
from
know.
the.
I'm not above 30 yet, so I should just shut up. But yeah, I mean, since this year I started to eat more regularly, especially having at least 3 meal a day, and I try to eat healthy. I mean, if I would prefer to eat sugars from Kinder stuff, or this kind of commercial things, I would prefer not, and I try to take my sugars from more healthy stuff. Don't ask me what. I don't know. I don't have a good imagination about what I eat really, but yeah, I try to eat more balanced, like protein, carbs, and fibers per
But
each meal.
you put a little bit of thought in what you do, right? It's not
Yes,
something
yes.
that it's
Since
okay.
1 year, since lockdown. Before,
Yeah,
no.
this was my question because it's like it's easy to say, yeah, no, 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 it's natural, and I'm like, no, it's not.
No, no,
You're
no, 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 no. I put since 1 year. No, otherwise I would have been maybe easy 10 kilos more. No,
okay.
I actually put a lot of weight, especially in quantities, because otherwise I eat all. Uh, I would eat everything. So yeah, and actually since last September I started doing yoga,
Okay.
which is, it's amazing. I mean, I'm not a sports person. I never did sport actually in my life before.
Oh, really?
I was
Okay.
super lazy. Yeah. I actually tried when I was 6, 7 years old, because my parents told me, okay, now yeah, maybe she can try. I remember I tried swimming, after 2 years of swimming, I was not even able to put my head under the water. Like I was terrible. Yeah. Yeah. And then I tried artistic gymnastic artistica, and
Gymnastic,
also
yeah.
yeah, gymnastic. And no, I wasn't so skilled, you can say, or bored. But so I did gym, going to the gym when I was teenager and stuff, but not really into sport. But since September, I started yoga and meditation, just following tutorial at the beginning mostly, but then I joined a teacher from Milan
Hmm.
on Zoom classes, online
So you do it
classes.
in remote.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we do class 1 hour per week, but I do yoga every day, 1 hour every day
Okay.
by
That's
myself.
amazing.
So with there, I learned a bit how to get
And
started.
do you like program it into your day? Because this is
Yes,
another thing, right?
yeah,
If you forget,
absolutely.
then
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I always have the same hour. Uh, when I mean, I program my day. I work, I eat. No, when I wake up, I have my breakfast without my computers on. Then I switch on because before it was okay. As soon as I wake up, I start my computer, but no. Then I start to work after I finish my breakfast. I have lunch, and I try to not have lunch in front of my computers,
which is hard, huh?
which I don't do actually. Actually, no, I know it's bad, but I try. Sometimes I do, sometimes not. But maybe 80% of the time I eat in front of the computer, especially because we work from home.
Mhm.
And I am alone. I don't live with another person, so we say, oh, let's have lunch together. So
Let me just ask those who are watching from home because there is around 15 peanuts 15 peanuts watching,
peanuts.
15 people watching. Now it's only 12. Let's see if they have any questions, and if they do, they can write it in the comments. I'm not really paying attention to the comments because I want to try and be as much as possible there for this conversation. But hi,
Yeah.
Johnny. Hi, Filippo. Hi, for design, Thibaut. Thanks a lot for being here. Um, I have a question. I had a question that I wanted to ask you. Okay, let's get a little bit deep with our conversation. 5 to 10 years from now, where do you see yourself?
That's a good
Bum, bum,
question.
bum.
Um, so five, there is a big difference, 5 and 10 years. I mean, in 5 years, I will still see myself working for a big company, always working on characters, mm, realistic characters. If the company will be video game company or VFX, I'm not sure. But since now I'm experiencing working for the video game industry, I'm not sure. I think I would see myself in the next years, till 5 years, working maybe for movies, so VFX industry. But 10 years, which is double the time, mm, maybe I would see myself working freelancer as a freelancer, so I could choose my own clients and my working hours per week, and dealing with my finances differently, because I have been very like everybody, and especially women in this industry. I mean, we are so, I am as first, so I'm not able to judge uh, how much is worth my work, really.
Okay. Do you feel
So
like there is a gap between, you know, this is a question that I'm going to ask you because I've had people coming to me, women, saying it's very hard for us to price ourselves because men seem to be a lot more confident than we are. and I was having a conversation with another friend of mine who he got in touch with me telling me that one of his girlfriends went for the same job as him and she negotiated around 20k less per year in comparison to him, even though he tried to help him.
Yeah, here I am. Yeah, I will do the same. Yeah. Yeah,
Why
it's
do
like
you think that is? Like, I'm really just curious to know because like there are people out there that just say, "Oh, that's bullshit. Men and women are the same." But it
no,
seems
no,
like
it's
to me,
obvious, it's objective that it's not the same. I mean, all women earn less. I mean, it happened to me that I am, okay, I don't have a lot of experience now because I started in 2017. So whoever has more experience in years than me will get more money than me, no matter what portfolio they have,
hmm
which is, but it happened to me that even people way younger than me, like 19, 20 years old guys with no experience, not even 1 year of experience, it happened that they earn more than me. And this happened recently, like very recently. And why
okay,
this happened? For sure, it's not. I mean, there is a way of saying. Uh, so we are what other people what uh, uh, give us value. For example, I make an example. If you have a car, it's a used car, and you want to sell this car, you go to one place, concessionary, a car
yeah,
shop,
yeah, like a
that
car dealer.
a car dealer. Okay, you go a car dealer and say, hey, this is my car, it's a used car, but here it is, how much do you value it? And they say, no, we don't value it 10 euro because it's old and we sell new cars, so we value very little. Then you go to a friend of yours, I don't know, and they say, hey, do you want to buy this car? And say, oh, but I don't like the color and it's too old, I can give you 100 euros. I say, okay, let me try another one. And you go another one. It's maybe a little shop who sells epoch car, old cars, like
Yeah, old timers.
old timers, like. And they say, oh wow, but this is an old car, but it's an old Lamborghini X series. We give you 100,000 euro. So this is a way of saying to say, like, you're you are worth what they value.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I understand what you mean. I think though, like I cannot speak for everybody, of course, but it does seem from the conversations that I've had that it seems tendentially that, women have more of an issue when it comes to um, negotiating their own value at a job interview. And I don't know if there is a bias in the society, if this is something that, I heard somebody saying, women, they, at a certain point, they'll get pregnant and then, you cannot invest in them and that's why we need to save money on them, which I think it's bullshit, of course. But, these things exist. And eventually, the problem why things like this exist, it's because when you bring up the conversation, there are some people that really have strong opinion about it and they say that this is a problem that exists because that's how it is and that's how it needs to be. And I'm like, okay,
mm,
we need to have a conversation at least, so that you can raise the opinion of of everybody, because in the conversations that I've had with the professionals in my career, it seems like men are always more opinionated, right? And they voice their opinion a lot louder than women do. And so we need to encourage the conversation on both sides, because otherwise, since this is an industry that has a lot of men inside, we can never really know what all women are thinking. Do you understand what I mean?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it happened to me, I mean, all the time. But I think
By saying this, I just lost like 20 subscribers.
no, but I think it's true. I mean, okay, I'm a woman, so maybe. Uh, I mean, no, this is true, and I think from one side maybe we are intimidated because we feel we can feel a bit of uh, hey, this is not your place, go somewhere else. I don't know, this I'm talking like this because like in the company where I am, for example, I am the only woman on
Mhm.
like 75 people, 80
Wow.
people.
Like
It's
to me, you could never say something like this because when I look at your work, I say to myself, if I sit down right now and I start practicing, maybe in 3, 4 years I can do something that looks like like a humanoid.
no.
I'll probably have like hair like when my dog when we shave her, it's like
No.
and so something like this I think look, I can tell you one thing. I know in my own personal career, I've always been the kind of person that was result oriented, and so money never really interested me
Hmm.
more than the idea of doing something cool, right?
Hmm.
However, over time, I have been screwed so many times by my good ideas that I now started to prioritize on the economical
Yeah, because you
factors
always
first.
put the money on the
Yes. And I guess
yeah.
that this is something that will come with the time. Maybe some now you feel like that is who you are and that's okay. Just don't beat yourself down. This is not a therapeutical session, but
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
had
no, I know, I know I'm starting to understand this by myself, but
yeah,
yeah, the process, I mean, it comes everything, and everybody say the same thing. I'm just repeating stuff. It comes with confidence.
yes,
And as soon as you take this confidence, like a confidence, you have to be my best friend. As
yeah,
soon as you start to see more money, because money are there, is just for you to take it.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
somehow.
it's very true. It's very true. And I can tell you one thing to encourage you. Like uh, you're very young. Like I figured out these things not a long time ago. Definitely not at the age of 27. Um,
Mm.
you know, so you have time, right?
How old are you?
I'm 38. This year I'll be 39.
Woo!
Time is a bitch.
Nice, nice, but you don't look at all.
Thank
You
you.
don't look.
Hi Adam. Hi Vlad. I'm very nice. Hi Nicola. I'm very happy that you guys are coming to hang out, and I'm very happy that I have the chance to lend my platform to you, Sabrina, because you're so talented, you're so skilled, the work that you do is amazing. Let me show to my followers your Instagram so that they can come and give you a follow. There you go.
Thanks.
Look at her work. She is an incredible artist. This picture is not a selfie, that's a 3D model. No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks.
And I honestly, I love
Oh my
also
God.
the.
Yeah, I should, yeah, make a profile. It's in the plan, professional profile dividing, like, yeah, I'm always
Nah, it's
thinking.
alright, like, seriously. I, I think that we need to stop giving so much attention to these things, like, just do what you
Just
want,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. From
It's
one
like
side,
we put
yes.
so much pressure on how this should be and how this should be. It's like every morning I wake up with like tachycardia because I'm like, did I did I do this right? Did I do that? God damn it. We're just like, we're young kids playing around with trying to make cool stuff, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But from one side, I think it's cool to, I mean, if you want to see yourself more as an idea of a brand and just to
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know because I look at the big guys, like musicians and so on.
yeah.
Their Instagram, it's like, yeah, I'm having a cheesecake, and everybody, woohoo! Sabrina,
Yeah.
let me just stir the conversation because otherwise, we're just gonna keep talking about these silly things that I brought up. Um, I have open in front of me one of your projects, which is
Hmm.
the girl with the blue hair.
Oh yeah, the punk girl. Yeah.
Yes, this is an amazing project. I remember looking at this a few months back, and I really wanted to have the chance to sit down with you and walk me through the process of you creating this. Maybe, people from home, they might get some value out of it.
Okay, yeah. So this punk girl, actually, I took an existing concept. The concept, I remember I discovered it while looking for reference. I wanted to make something, a full character, not just a head, a full character, with an armor, something sci-fi, and I saw this concept by Mikhail Rakhmatulin. I loved it so much, but when I discovered it, I was not able to model stuff very well, and anatomy not at all. So it was just saved, in my gallery for maybe 1 year, 1 year and a half. It was saved there, and I was looking at this content. Wow, it's so amazing. I loved it so much. And then I think I started this project more as a study, as a practice. And uh, so the way I started, uh, so I started creating, I took a base mesh for the body to get started. Do you want to know, I mean, the pipeline, the
I
way
want to know
I
everything.
Okay, okay. Oof. Then I need to be fast because there is a lot of steps. But basically, yeah, I started to create her in a pose, so symmetrical.
Hmm.
I started from a base mesh, and what I did, I split the head and the body to have UVs, one UV set just for the head and one UV set for the full body.
Okay.
Um, in this way, I could have more resolution for the texture of the face, so that I could see a bit more
Mm.
pores and
Details, yeah.
yeah, small details. And this is something that I wanted to set up from the beginning, because when you work on in ZBrush, like making details on the mesh, especially for the face, you want to have the UVs straight away planned. So uh, okay, this was the first step, setting up the mesh, splitting the head and body, because I didn't work with UDIM in this case. If you have
Okay.
a UDIM, you can just split and have as many UV tiles as you want. But this render was made in Octane render, and Octane didn't support UDIM. So
Okay.
this is the way I did. Then
So Octane, and what did you model in then?
I model in ZBrush everything. Everything is
Okay.
modeled in ZBrush. I use a bit of Cinema. No, actually, I use Cinema 4D to model certain elements of the hard surface Mac thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I had all the scene assembled
Mm-hmm.
in Cinema 4D, and I made the UVs in Unfold 3D.
Okay.
Unfold 3D? Yes, because I had a bridge between Cinema 4D and Unfold 3D. I tried actually to make the UVs in Cinema 4D by then because it was easier, just do it all in one software, but never make the UVs in Cinema 4D is just a nightmare. Uh, if not small stuff, but all this armor is not procedurally textured, but everything has UV, also the small screw and everything. So um, Cinema 4D was just too crazy. I used Unfold UV 3D, and After that, so
Can
uh,
I ask something?
yeah.
Um, when you pose the character, you pose it like this cannot be animated, right? This is very high poly. In theory, this would have to be retopologized, right?
This is actually is with subd. Is with
Ah,
subd.
okay,
It
okay.
means, I mean, is there is a low poly version. It's already retopologized, so there is a
Okay.
low poly. But when I rendered, instead of keeping the subdivision level 0, I add subdivision level 2, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It had maybe in total 4 subdivision. I kept it in subdivision level 2 to give a bit more definition, because I didn't use any displacement map, only
Okay.
normal map for this one. But the geometry, I mean, it's already retopologized. Also, I mean, when I created after the body was made and the proportion kind of were there, I made the clothing part in Marvelous Designer.
Mm-hmm.
And the process, when you it was in still in a pose, okay, when I start to build the clothing in Marvelous Designer
Okay.
in a pose. And after that, I pose the body in ZBrush. I pose it with this pose, and I import the pose in Marvelous Designer as a MDD cache, so that it will simulate,
Yeah.
make a simulation from this pose, like a morph target.
Yeah, yeah, I like
Uh,
morphing, yes.
yeah, so this is the way I didn't pose it by hand. But then, of course, once you export from Marvelous Designer into ZBrush, uh, I mean, there is much more work that I redid on folding and just to, yeah, fix some errors.
Mm-hmm.
And the topology out of Marvelous Designer is not good at all. I mean,
No,
there is
it's
someone.
terrible.
No, and I mean, the exporting techniques are different. In this case, I exported thin, like with no thickness,
Mm-hmm.
with no thickness, so thin mesh. And I used a method to export also the 2D layout from Marvelous, which is super precise, because it's based on the 2D pattern that you draw. And based on that, I draw the topology on the flat UV. Instead of doing the retopology on top of the 3D asset, I draw the topology on top of the 2D layout, and then I use transfer attributes in Maya to transfer the UVs, no, to transfer the geometry based on the same UVs.
I
It looks
understand.
so complicated, but basically transfer attributes, it's a tool that I always use in Maya, because it allows you to morph
Yes.
and transfer properties that can be UVs or texture map or vertex position or uh, topology. You can
There,
also transfer topology based.
there is a tool
Yeah.
that does the same in Blender also.
Mm, yeah. I never use Blender, but it's
Don't get
something
me
that
started.
I'm
Don't get me
curious.
started.
Ah,
Okay,
it's
what?
something that, yeah.
How long did it take you to
And
go from start to finish with this?
for this project, I think it was 3 months, three
Mm,
months, uh, or 3, 4 months. But I didn't work on it full time. But there is
yeah.
also to say that I learned a lot of stuff during the process, how to make. So, for example, okay, the hard surface part of the armor, I modeled, as I said, I modeled in Cinema 4D mostly, and some pieces in ZBrush.
Mm-hmm.
But the ears and the eyebrows are made in Udine. And you say, oh wow, why did you made it in Udine? I mean, there is the air system in Cinema 4D, there is a
Mm-hmm.
Xgen in Maya. But this time I just wanted, because a friend suggested me to Just give it
Try
a try
Houdini.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, try Udine because the air system it's super powerful. And I remember I followed a tutorial. There are not so many tutorials on, I mean, there are, but more on grooming fur for animals, but not
Okay.
making an hairstyle on YouTube. I mean, when I looked for it, but there was one tutorial that it really helped me a lot, and helped me to, yeah, go from scratch. I never used Udemy before, so I started to learn this nodal system, and so I made this way. But for example, also there, I modeled the hairs already when she was in pose, not in
Okay.
a pose but
Okay.
pose, and that
Okay.
was a so a terrible nightmare. I mean, because usually you should make a blend shape. I mean, you make the hairs in a pose, of course, also the eyebrows. Imagine to select the polies of,
Yeah,
I
in
mean,
that position.
yeah, in that position. Yeah, I didn't know. I was just, okay, now she's posed. I didn't think like, I should make a blend shape, so I do
But
A to B. Mm.
you post it with Cinema 4D.
Posed? No, no, no. I posed with Transformation Master is called, Transpose Master in ZBrush.
Ah, okay. Because I
Yeah.
think that in Cinema 4D you retain the A pose or the T pose, whatever it is that you use, and then when you
Hmm.
are in editing of the bones or of the armor, um, you can actually go back between the post character and the T
Yeah.
or A pose.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I
Yeah. Yeah.
see.
You can, but I didn't. It was.
Actually, I've learned this whilst I was learning Blender. I did my first rigging like a couple of days ago. I never rigged anything, because architecture it's like put a block, put a triangle, that's your house. Moving on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But sincerely, I also never rigged anything. No.
Okay. So you
No.
you really started from zero, and that 3 months it got you to this. This is amazing. This is really amazing. Guys from home, just take a second to write a comment how amazing this work is. Come on. Don't be bad. She's incredible. And okay,
Thank you. Thank you. No, you
oh
are too
man.
kind, really.
No, no, no. It's a little bit also overwhelming. And also like all the textures and everything. Did you have to use like substance? Did you
So all the
paint this stuff?
texture, yes, once I set up the UVs, it was a bit of a nightmare to have all the UVs in place. I create texture lists for different materials like the metal part, the body and the clothing and the tattoos. And I texture everything in Substance Painter, yes.
Okay.
And I had like 4, 5 texture list, set list. How does it called? So in the end, she has applied in Octane, she has maybe 4 or 5 shaders.
Mm,
Hmm.
this is
That's
beautiful.
important. Yeah. Oh, thanks.
I'm nodding and I'm saying but I'm not really that big in substance. Like I downloaded it a couple of days ago because I was like, okay, let's see what the fuss is about. Anyway,
No, Substance is great. Yeah.
I hear a lot of people talking, saying, that is amazing. Let me ask you, what is the one software that you think cannot be at all replaced in your workflow right
ZBrush,
now?
ZBrush,
ZBrush.
ZBrush,
Okay.
ZBrush is everything in my work. Yeah,
You
ZBrush
think
is my sculpting tool. Yeah.
amazing. Anyway, Vlad said that he followed you on Instagram. People are saying awesome work. There are lots of forward that your stuff is very inspiring. It's
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
yeah. Sabrina, believe it or not, as much as I'm enjoying this conversation, you and I have been talking for more than an hour now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
time
true.
flies. I know.
Really,
Anyway,
really.
I
But
just
it's
wanna, I just wanna thank you for taking the time. We're gonna stop this year. If people want us to have another conversation, maybe we can talk to the community and see what it is that they would like us to talk about. And maybe we can do this again. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. It was a pleasure for me. Yeah, I'm
I hope
sorry.
that you
When I
had
start to
fun.
speak, I speak.
Yeah,
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 it
it's
was
fun.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Sabrina, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna stop the stream. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching from home. Leave a like if you like this video. Maybe consider subscribing if you're not already. Sabrina, really awesome talking to you. If you want to say goodbye, this is the time. So I'm gonna stop the stream
Thank
there.
you very much. Thank you very much. Bye.